There is an invisible game you're actually playing right now. And whether you realize it or not, it's quietly dictating your choices, your anxieties, and basically all of your desires. In this explainer, we're going to expose the hidden architecture of human behavior. Just imagine, for a second, walking right into a crowded room filled with complete strangers. Within milliseconds, literally long before a single meaningful word is even exchanged, this primitive mechanism in your brain wakes up. You don't ask it to happen. It just begins its silent, relentless work. It starts this silent accounting. It's scanning clothing. It's measuring posture. It's sensing exactly who exudes confidence, who commands attention, and, honestly, most brutally, who is completely ignored. We navigate these invisible hierarchies every single day, right? In boardrooms, at parties, all across our digital lives. We're constantly calculating our position, absolutely terrified of losing our footing. So you have to ask yourself, why does this matter so deeply to us? We love to tell ourselves it's just a pursuit of wealth or maybe a desire for luxury. We rationalize it as, modern ambition. But when you strip away all those superficial layers, what you uncover is a psychological force that is incredibly ancient and, frankly, entirely ruthless. Part 1. Our Ancient Survival Code. To really understand this code, we have to look backward, long before cities or corporations ever existed. Think about 100,000 years ago. In a brutally dangerous world where humans were definitely not at the top of the food chain, earning the trust of your tribe wasn't just some ego boost, it was literally the only way to survive. Having a unique skill brought respect, and that respect meant you weren't left behind when resources ran scarce. Over thousands of generations, our brains evolved to relentlessly track our social rank, simply because being valued by the group was the actual difference between life and death. Fast forward to today, and the symbols have mutated. Instead of spears and fire, we're projecting our status through follower counts, luxury brands, and corporate titles. The backdrop is super modern, sure, but the underlying psychology, it remains completely untouched. A luxury watch isn't really a timepiece. A job title isn't just a role. They are survival signals. They communicate your influence and resources directly to our ancient psychological systems. You might live in a modern high-rise, completely insulated from the natural predators of our ancestors, but let me tell you, that ancient software is still running right there in the dark corners of your mind, quietly observing, quietly comparing, quietly measuring. It literally never turns off.
Part 2. The endless comparison trap.
We've essentially dropped these ancient survival instincts into a digital environment where comparison is completely weaponized. And we live in this profound contradiction. We claim status doesn't matter, yet we instinctively track who dominates a room. We preach all about authenticity while totally suffocating under the pressure to perform this curated version of success. We're a society that claims not to care, all while agonizing over our reputation in real time. Now, this whole exhaustion is driven by a psychological phenomenon known as adaptation. Basically, the human mind is hardwired to quickly normalize improvements. What once felt like an extraordinary triumph inevitably decays into just the ordinary. And this is the precise mechanism that makes the game so incredibly addictive. It pushes us to chase an ever-moving horizon. So we become trapped in this relentless loop. First, you achieve a goal. Maybe it's a promotion, a new car, or a viral moment. You get that fleeting rush of validation. But then, adaptation takes hold. That new plateau, it just becomes your baseline. The satisfaction evaporates, and it's instantly replaced by a brand new, agonizing hunger for the next level. The loop resets, pulling you right back into the climb before you've even had a chance to rest.
The ladder never ends. Entire lifetimes are spent organized around this perpetual climb, constantly striving, constantly reaching, but rarely, if ever, actually arriving.
Part 3. The desire to matter. Right now, somewhere in the lonely expanse of a modern city, someone is working late. The pale light of a monitor is just illuminating their face in an empty office. They're desperately trying to earn a promotion. And, they tell themselves it's all about the money, about that financial security. But the psychology, it tells a much deeper story. Meanwhile, somewhere else, someone is sitting in the dark, bathed in the glow of their phone, just anxiously refreshing their metrics. They are comparing their real, messy existence to a stranger's highly curated illusion. They're perfectly, tragically caught in that adaptation loop, just hoping the very next notification will finally feel like enough. So what are they truly chasing? It isn't luxury. It isn't some fancy title. They just want to be seen, to be respected, to feel significant. Right beneath our cultural obsession with wealth and competition lies the rawest human vulnerability of all, the profound fear of insignificance. Status is really just the promise that we aren't invisible.
Because beneath every single hierarchy and beneath every symbol of success we ever build lies a question that has haunted humanity from the very beginning. It's a question most of us will never say out loud. Do I matter? And perhaps this entire invisible game we play is really just our lifelong attempt to finally answer it.